If you don't have time to grind and you want to buy a stacked account in 2K with max badges, a nice record, and a high overall, hit up sportstnb.com. The link is on the screen, and you can find the link in both the comment section and in the description. Alright, let's get this over with. I have survived the most treacherous, the most brutal offseason. We survived. I truly had forgotten after all these years of the Warriors and super teams. I legitimately forgot what it was like to wait for a season where there was actual competition, where there was actual suspense. And it was the most ratchet 4 months of my YouTube life trying to make videos in that time. These are my last 2 offseason videos. I'm hitting y'all with the Eastern Conference predictions today and then the Western Conference predictions tomorrow. And for the last 2 days before the season, I will be streaming, so come through tonight and tomorrow evening. Just follow me on any social media account, you will see when I'm streaming. It's on Twitch. Link for that is also in the comment section and description. Let's please get this the fuck over with. Starting at number 1, I figured it would be way more suspenseful if I go from 1 to 8, because we already know who are going to be like the first few teams, right? First seed, I am going with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they are the team in the East with the least to figure out. Their biggest issue this summer was that they lost Malcolm Brogdon, which is definitely an issue, but I think that's one that's going to matter later, as in deep into the playoffs, maybe in some tough rounds before the finals. I don't think that's going to be the difference between them last year having a historical point differential in the Eastern Conference and this year falling that far. I just don't see that. He was injured as well last year and they were still able to do pretty well, including in the playoffs. So he is a loss that matters, but they've got Giannis more shooters. I am looking for Giannis to have improved. I think we're going to see him shoot some more threes this year, and they're just still a really good team, especially in the Eastern Conference. The East is still relatively weak. It is actually weaker than it was last season, so being that they're going to be playing Eastern teams most of the time, I don't think it's going to be hard for them to finesse wins and pick up that first seed. I really don't see them falling that far from where they were last year, so yep, first seed will be the Bucks for me. At the second, I am still going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. I still need to see throughout the season how this actually works playing Horford and Embiid, what they do with those minutes, how that works playing a traditional big man lineup, what their bench ends up looking like, if Simmons is actually going to shoot threes, all kinds of stuff. But I still think they are a very talented roster. They're a very big roster. I think they'll be good defensively. And then just being in the Eastern Conference with the star power that they have. I mean, they have 3 star players. Horford, Embiid, Simmons. We're able to pick up Josh Richardson in light of losing JJ Redick. That was a very good pickup. They retained Tobias Harris, but I'm still waiting to see what it looks like when he's going to be playing more 3 than 4. Also depending on what they do with Horford. Again, there's so much you can do with lineups. But nevertheless, I still think this is a very talented roster. It's in the Eastern Conference. I think it's the second best team in the East. The only reason I would see them not being second seed is because it took them longer than we expect for them to figure out some of these lineups. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Sixers in the second seed. I'm not gonna be edgy. Now this is where the Eastern Conference gets interesting. It's that 3 to 8 spot. If we're being real, it is not difficult for any combination of teams within reality, right? Within reality of actual playoff teams. So if you're a playoff team in the East, it's not difficult to imagine that you could really fill any spot between 3 and 8. So what I'm trying to say is there is a lot of teams that can fill this 3 spot. Me personally, I am going to go with the Boston Celtics. I'm going to go with the Celtics because I feel like while they definitely did lose some this offseason, obviously Kemba is not as talented as Kyrie. Horford was a big loss defensively, especially when you're maybe replacing him with Cantor. I'm not 100% sure if he's starting yet, but his pick and roll D is just atrocious. That's going to be the line all season. Anytime I mention the Celtics, unless Cantor gets it together on that end, you will hear my mouth about that. However, I really think there are going to be some things that work out better. I think it's going to work out better that Kemba is the point guard of the team now than Kyrie, because let's be real, you're probably not going to have the same leadership issues, and you're probably not going to have the same playstyle issues. I think Kemba will be cool with letting other guys eat. You can go find early commentaries that I did on either channel about the Celtics last season, and one thing I said was I never saw Kyrie and Jason Tatum going long term. You got 2 guys who like to take mid-range pull-ups, who like to take what can be considered bad shots. I just didn't think it was necessarily a great pairing. And now you have Jason Tatum acknowledging his mistakes, saying that after training with Kobe, he picked up some bad habits. He brought him into that season. So at least he's self-aware, right? Whether he actually gets on the court and changes how he plays, we'll see. But at least he's self-aware. That's a start. And then you have Kemba, who you can't find any teammates who've ever said anything bad about Kemba as a leader, as a player. And now he's playing around a bunch of good teammates, and he clearly wants to win. So I think this is a situation where Gordon Hayward might be able to get back on his feet. The young guys that were used to eating without Kyrie and Hayward, specifically Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I think they're going to have more room to be themselves this year. Then again, that could go south because Jaylen Brown is hunting for a bag, so this may just not be all sunshine and flowers. But then I'm also encouraged by some of the bench. Carson Edwards, he looks like he is going to be a dope-ass six-man. He's going to come in letting it fly and bring in a whole lot of energy. So my point with the Celtics is that they're still a talented roster, and this is the Eastern Conference we're talking about. The rest of the teams I have here on this list, none of them are that particularly talented. The third seed is not a hard grab, and for a team that has remnants of a squad that was 4th seed last year when it was much tougher, I think that this is doable for them. So that's where I'm going to put them. But again, 3rd seed, very low bar in the Eastern Conference, can be grabbed by a lot of teams. For instance, I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat wound up there, but that's who I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat. I woke up to some beautiful news this morning, guys. You saw my Tyler Hero video, and guess who got suspended for misconduct? Guess who's going to miss the first game of the season? Dion Waiters. I'm not sure exactly what it was. They didn't outline the details, but he has been suspended. He is a shooting guard. He's one of the guys I thought potentially was going to be getting a shot before Tyler Hero. I was never 100% sure what lineup they were actually going to go with because I see Justice Winslow playing some point guard. So with Goran Dragic coming off the bench, I'm not 100% sure, but that opens an opportunity for Hero to be starting right out of the gate. That is what I wanted. I want him to get all that development, all that time out there with Jimmy, more shots, more opportunities. And if he could excel in that, that would be big for Miami because that would be something that we didn't necessarily see when Jimmy Butler got there. When Jimmy got there, we were like, yeah, Jimmy just went to an average team. They're still on that average line, but I think they would be better than we thought if it really works out where Tyler Hero is like a Rookie of the Year candidate. And again, 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, very low bar. If you're in the Eastern Conference and you have an established star player and you have a decent roster around him, you're already kind of ahead of the curve. And that's kind of how I see the Heat. So yeah, I would go Miami Heat at the 4th spot. Then I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors at 5. I'm not going to disrespect the air quotes defending champions that much, okay? They did a good thing yesterday. They went ahead and locked up Pascal Siakam. People may have disagreed on the money. They were arguing about it, but look, we were raving about him in the playoffs, and he's still very young, and clearly, as Jordan would say, what'd he say? The limit is the ceiling, the sky is the ceiling. Whatever he said, it applies to Pascal Siakam. So they're going to have him for the foreseeable future. They still have the remnants of a championship team, but of course, gigantic hole punched in it by losing Danny Green, by losing Kawhi Leonard. It's not the same at all. I don't expect any kind of title run for them this year. But in the Eastern Conference, they can definitely break 5. Still got Kyle Lowry, who, as fun as it might be for y'all to disrespect him, still a talented point guard. I am very interested to see what Siakam does with an expanded role because clearly the bill is going to fall to him next. This will be a team that still has pieces and probably is still good defensively. So again, a lot of this stuff in the middle of the Eastern Conference is interchangeable. If you're talking about the Raptors at 4, I can see that too, but I'm placing them at 5. I want to have hard placements. I don't want to just say, oh, anybody could be here. I want to have my own placements in my own bracket, and this is where I place them. Behind them at the 6th slot, I will be going with the Kevin Durant-less Nets. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be a whole lot better than last season, honestly. Kyrie Irving, definitely a better player than D'Angelo Russell, but again, we'll see what kind of Kyrie we get. Like, are we talking Afro Kyrie? Are we talking 2016 fade Kyrie? I don't know, remains to be seen. But I'm just not expecting anything special from them right now. Like, they're the team that was really exciting over the summer because of the additions that they made, but they're really on the back burner. I'm looking for them to be major players next year. I'll be watching this year, definitely, because I want to see what Kyrie Irving is like. This is still the continuation of him wanting to be his own man, wanting to lead his own roster, so now he has a less talented roster than he had last year. Again, talent doesn't mean everything, it's all about how it meshes. It just did not mesh last year, so we'll see what he does on the Nets now with still some talented players, Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie. You got guys there, but I want to see how they do defensively. Other than that, yeah, I'm not really expecting much from them now. This is a project to see who's going to play what role next year, who they're going to keep. Yeah, Nets are number 6 for me. At number 7, I think Indy is still going to squeeze it out because good news for Victor Oladipo. Apparently, he is now participating in 5-on-5 activity and is ahead of schedule. That's beautiful news, because before we had no clue when he was coming back. We had no kind of news. So the fact that the season is just now starting, he's already getting 5-on-5 work on. He's clearly going to be back this season. And in the Eastern Conference, what a great pickup to get Brogdon, right? They've got Brogdon. It looks like they're going to try to move Sabonis. There was not even a rumor. It was Woj that reported they're going to be looking to trade Sabonis because apparently they can't really play him with Miles Turner. Sabonis is a really talented player. They should have a good asking price for him. So that's another reason I have them at number 7, because they're sans Oladipo and they're going to be moving Sabonis. So there's a lot of moving parts there. I don't know what pieces they're going to get back for Sabonis or when he's going to be traded. Since the reason they're trading him is because of the Miles Turner pairing, I'm assuming it's going to, be sooner than later. I don't think this is going to be something that happens in February. That being said, extremely low bar for the Eastern Conference, number 7. Hopefully they can get Oladipo somewhere like midway back so they can just hang on without him. They had a very underrated pickup in TJ Warren this summer. So they have a roster that will be able to be competitive, and then they will throw Oladipo on top of that. They might take some bumps and bruises along the way, but by the time it's all said and done, I think they'll be able to edge out a 7th spot. They had a pretty long way to go without him last year and they still made it. Of course, they have lost some pieces, but they added some as well, so I think they can duplicate that. And that leaves us with just 1 spot left in the Eastern Conference. So the teams that will allegedly be fighting for that spot are the Wizards, the Magic, the Terry Rozier Hornets. Oh, by the way, PJ Washington, their rookie, he might single-handedly save them. That's a possibility. I know nobody's been paying attention, but dude's pretty fire. The Atlanta Hawks will be looking for that spot, the Chicago Bulls, the Cavaliers, and the Detroit Pistons. Those are just the teams that are not in my bracket right now, with 1 spot left. I'm not saying that they can all realistically compete for it. And out of those squads, I am actually going to go with the hometown. I'm going to go with the Orlando Magic again. I think they are going to repeat playoff appearances for the first time since like the Dwight Howard era. Yeah, I'm going to go with them because here's the thing. I originally had the Detroit Pistons written down, but what I'm looking at is, okay, the roster's not that great first of all. Second of all, the most important pieces on that team outside of Drummond are injury prone. You're looking at Blake Griffin, and then you're looking at Derrick Rose. So the Pistons were the 8th seed last year. I actually got a little bit confused. I thought the Magic were the 8th seed. It was the Pistons last year, but this year you see I have slid the Heat into a playoff spot that they did not previously have, so that bumps 1 team out. I think it's going to bump the Pistons out because since we are +1 with the Heat now, I'm looking at who's going to hold up, and I don't all the way trust that Blake Griffin and D Rose will hold up all season. I just don't. From the data that we have no reason to believe that. Now, I'm rooting for D Rose. I'm going to watch him play all season. Definitely no knock on him, but I'm just going off of what happens every season. There's some injury to Rose every single season, and I think he's pretty important to this team. So if he's missing games throughout the season and then you get to the end and it's a twisted ankle or whatever, that's a big hit to them. It's the one reason I thought his career was over back when it was with the Knicks, because I was like, who's going to keep signing him to depend on him for like a playoff spot or contending when he may not be there? And then Blake Griffin, it's something every year with him as well. So that's one team where, normally I say that injuries you can't predict, but with this one, the Pistons are one where I say, yeah, injuries might be their undoing. And it's because I have to pick one team for that last 8 spot, right? And there's other teams that can get it, and I just cannot in good faith bet on the Pistons' health being there for them to make what will probably be a close and contested 8 seed, because the East is not that great and the records might not be that great, but they're all going to be about the same, or they're going to be close, so there's going to be multiple teams vying for those last spots like it was last season. And in looking at that and putting the Heat in a playoff spot and somebody getting bumped out, I would trust the Magic more than the Pistons. I think the Magic still have some good pieces. You've got Aaron Gordon down there. Vucevic came back. I'm looking for a better season from Jonathan Isaac because I like the potential that I see from him. And they were a playoff team last year. They were 7th seed, and I think they can definitely make it again this year. So Magic get my A seed. Don't think it's time for the Bulls, the Hawks yet. The Hornets would be like an extreme long shot. I don't see any of that. Although I would love to see the Hawks. I would love to see Trae Young and John Collins, but I really doubt the Atlanta Hawks defense is going to be good enough, playing all 82 games throughout the season. I don't think that's going to result in a playoff record by the end, not even in the Eastern Conference. And I do like the Bulls' talent, by the way. Zach LaVine, Felicio. I am the last Felicio supporter on the planet. You got the Rook and Kobe White. Hey, the Bulls got some talent out there. I don't think they're gonna have some tanking record by the end, but for my A spot, I will be going Orlando. That is what I am sticking to. So let me know what you think is going to go down in the East this year. Who are your 8 teams? Let me know if you agree or disagree with my order in the comment section. I will be doing the Western Conference predictions tomorrow, so a little over 24 hours. I really don't post at 12 o'clock on school days. And I will be streaming tonight and tomorrow. I've been streaming on Twitch during the weekends. I try to stream 1 or 2 days during the weekend on Twitch, so it's either Saturday and Sunday or just one of those. This weekend I only had time for one of those, so I'll be streaming at around 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can follow my Twitch in the link in the description. And again, if you just follow any of my social media, I literally put out the notification on all of them. So if you just follow me on any of them, you'll know when I'm going, specifically like Instagram. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow. Hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed, and hit the notification bell next to my name if you want notification when the vid drops tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.